Hey guys, how's everything going? Nick, are we running?
Yeah, I'm rolling.
Okay, so welcome to the Young Professionals Podcast, the Mission Viejo Chamber Young Professional Podcast. On this podcast, we're going to be kind of showing you how we're going to grow a podcast and how these four young professionals started their business in Mission Viejo and continue to grow them. One thing I want to make explicitly clear starting out is what a young professional is, right? And to introduce Ian White, he's going to go ahead and explain what a young professional is.
Thank you, Danny. Yeah, so my name's Ian White. I am a financial advisor with Edward Jones, and a young professional to me is two things really. A lot of times it's age, right? We have to start somewhere, and it can be really hard, and we often don't get good advice on what we should be doing to be successful. But it's also about mindset and where you are in your business. If you're in growth mindset, if you're trying to expand, that's also what we'd consider a young professional. Starting a new business, you're in.
100%. That's what we're going to pretty much be focusing on in this podcast. It's going to be, we want to highlight all the events coming up within Mission Viejo that we're going to be attending and that we're going to be networking at, and especially highlight the Mission Viejo Chamber events, obviously, right? The purpose of this podcast is to highlight the young professionals in Mission Viejo and some of the upcoming events. What do we got coming up, guys? We got on August 30th, I know that we have our we have a mixer, right? Where's that mixer at, Ian?
We do. It is the Green Chili Cantina, formerly known as High Park Tap House. They just opened in the last couple of weeks. So for a lot of us, this is going to be our first time experiencing the new food along with the classics. It is a business networking happy hour, August 30th, which is Wednesday from 5:30 to 7:30. These things usually go over. We tend to get a good crowd, a lot of different types of people looking to network. Yeah. And I try to be the first one there and the last one out to make sure it all goes smoothly.
Of course you are.
Before we go any further, I want to get full introduction.
My name is Daniel Katzman. I'm a financial services professional and been in the industry for going on a year, studied in college at LSU. I'm a board of directors with the Mission Viejo Chamber and all involved all over the place as far as all the committees. Part of the Mission Viejo Activities Committee, super involved in the city. Like, I love Mission Viejo, I'm born and raised here. Actually down the street in Aliso Viejo, but Orange County is my home. Went to school in Santa Margarita Catholic and St. Mary's, and just been born and raised here, and went to LSU and came back, and very excited to be back in Orange County all around my family and start my career. So that's me, Daniel Katzman.
Okay,
Dimitri,
it's for me. My name is Dmitrii. I'm from Russia. I am project development manager in elephant signage and display. So I started working here 4 months ago, and for me it's a new experience to work in a United States company because in Russia I had my own business, also advertising agency. We were creating neon signs, and we were the first company in our region, success company, and we had a big project with all parts of our country, and after some events, I had to move here and start working this and just create new projects, create new companies, create new experience events, and just for me sometimes it's difficult to say in English.
Grow your business. That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
No,
grow this business.
That's what this podcast is all about, right? We got diversity from all over the walks of life.
All over the world, yeah.
Exactly. Ian, we kind of already got a little bit of the intro, but you want to go ahead and do that again in case it doesn't make the first cut?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not from as far away as Russia, but Washington State, right? So we just had a little hurricane here, reminded me of home. Some good weather.
Yeah, all that rain.
Yeah. I'll say it again. My name's Ian White. I'm a financial advisor with Edward Jones. Been doing that for over a decade in Mission Viejo. And, I predominantly focus on families trying to retire really just helping them feel good about the work they're doing, partner with them to take the load off when it starts to get too hard, to just make sure you're making the right decisions, and then partnering with them throughout their lives to make sure they stay on track. And when I'm not doing that, I am busy at home with 2 toddlers, 2 boys, 5 and 3. And they're both in school now, so my wife finally has a moment to breathe.
Heck yeah, no more summer. I remember my parents were like stoked when school went back.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
What about you? Who are you, Bryn Moore?
Alright, yeah, my name is Bryn Parmenter. I am a property and casualty insurance agent specializing in commercial insurance. I have my commercial lines coverage specialist designation. So that mainly involves working with businesses that have been established as well as new businesses for all walks of life, from general liability to workers' comp to cyber liability. I was also born and raised in Mission Viejo. I went to school at the University of Arizona, graduated from the Eller College of Management. Made my way out to Austin, Texas for a while, working in InsurTech. Then made it back to Newport Beach right before COVID, and now working for my family's insurance agency. 73 years old at this point.
That's so rad.
Third generation insurance agent, working with my mom, sister, as well as we have some other people in the company. But yeah, happy to be here talking about the Young Professionals Mission Viejo Chamber of Commerce and things we're doing in the community and trying to grow our businesses. So.
Well, you look great for your age.
Yeah, thank you.
Heck yeah. Speaking of which, how do you 2 old farts fit into the young professional scheme? I guess, Bryn Moore, you're kind of just getting out of college still.
Yeah.
You're 26?
26,
Yeah, 26.
yes.
I'm 23. Dimitri?
23.
23. We got the old fart here, Ian
Yeah.
White.
Yep, all the way up there at 33 years old.
At 33. We're only going to keep him for 2 more years, so don't worry about it.
Phasing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to have a success story, right? You got to
Exactly.
aim for something. That's me.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of this podcast, right? We kind of have every piece of the puzzle as far as the young professional side of things go. We have someone kind of, phasing out of that young professionals, getting to that, full-fledged, you're out of the growth mode, right? You're just in.
Oh, I'm still in growth mode, but I will say I do still look 23. So
Yeah.
That does help.
right
That
in.
does help. That's why we keep them around. Some of the important things outside of August 30th that we got the up and coming Mixer event. Make sure to keep up on meetup.com. That's where you're going to find our events. It's going to be Young Professionals, Mission Viejo Young Professionals. That's the name of it, right? Correct. Awesome. Yeah, and you can always go on the Mission Viejo Chamber's website to see what other events are going on. One of our most popular events, of course, has to be Daybreakers, right? That's a blast. That's one of our favorites.
And
I
that's
love
kinda-
going and getting bagel.
Where we kind of all started really chatting with each other the most.
Absolutely.
The happy hours are great, but 9 a.m. or no, it's 8 a.m.
7:45. Yeah, it's typically
7:45 on a Tuesday every morning is a good way to start the week.
Oh, it's the best. You get to go see a bunch of professionals within your community, just starting and working hard every day. So it's inspiring, and it's a great way to start my morning. Personally, I love it. Yeah, and this podcast is going to be centrally just based on our stories, our struggles, successes, everything from the beginning to the end. Right, that's kind of what we're going to be talking about as far as our growth and our development in our career path. I want to make sure that people know that we're watching this. Obviously, it's going to be a rough start, right? We're going to make sure it's going to be slow, steady, but we're going to be having guests. Oh yeah, this isn't awkward at all. But we're going to be having podcast guests, and we're going to be making sure to highlight people in that growth mode. Up and coming business people inside of Mission Viejo. Mission Viejo is a great place to start your business. We have so many city events, so many networking opportunities. What are some of I kind of want to hop into things right away. What are some pieces of advice you could give possibly to some young professionals, fresh into the office, they're still got their knees shaking. What type of, I guess it's dependent on the industry,
I
but
think one of the first things I think a lot of people get, especially coming out of college, is that imposter syndrome. What am I doing here? You've had this ordered thing your whole life. You go 1st through 6th grade, then you got 7th through 8th grade, then you got high school, then college.
yeah,
And then it's the first time so many people have been just there you go. Everyone thought that college would be the first time you're out on your own, but it's still pretty structured.
yeah,
And I think, at least for myself, I remember the first job I got was at a startup company. I'm looking through the CRM, seeing, oh wow, they just let go these people, these old accounts,
Yeah.
CMOs, and I was like, do I belong here? What's going
Yeah.
on? Am I going to be able to do this? I
Yeah.
never cold called anyone. And I think many people are open to saying they feel the same way at first, but once
Yeah.
you get to know people, I think most has their doubts in themselves, and when you're getting going, you got to make mistakes. I think that's kind of the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Everyone hears that their whole life, but actually making those mistakes and learning from it is kind of rather not do it than make the mistake. I think a lot of people have that feeling. So
I think you're right. It's making the mistake without the trampoline below you.
yeah,
Like now, you know what I mean? Trampoline's gone.
yeah.
Experience consists of some mistakes.
Exactly. Yeah. No one just was the best at something right
Of
away.
course.
It's you got to figure it out as you go. And I mean, if you take a closer look at any professional in your life, I think you'll still see everyone's making mistakes, and it's not the end all be all.
We don't see it as a mistake anymore. It's a stepping stone to success.
Mm-hmm. That's
I
like,
remember my first 2 weeks in business, we got sent out to wherever we're going to be. I was in St. Louis at the time. They sent me out to here,
Mhm.
Mission Viejo, and said just knock on people's doors, right, in their communities for 2 weeks. That's all you're doing for as long as you think you should be working, right? I'm salaried at this point. So 8:30 a.m. to about 6 p.m. every single day. And they said you just got to meet people, find people who might need your help, and try to get their phone numbers. Twice in those 2 weeks, I thought, this is the day I'm going to get fired. We got daily calls where we're just talking about our days. I'm like, this is it. It's over. I've talked to like 3 people today. It's been 6 hours, but I just inch towards daylight, right? Everything you do, you just got to move forward, and it worked out. But yeah, I mean, after those 2 weeks, it was still like once a month. It's like, I'm going to get fired this month. I know it.
yeah. Then before you know it, your book of business was growing. You're like,
Right. Yeah, before I knew it, I was like, wow, this actually feels pretty good now.
2 years in, you're like, I
Yeah.
don't think maybe I won't get fired at this point. I
Right.
think they might keep me around.
Yeah, I still think it's one of the worst times in my life, but I felt good doing it. I just never want to think about it again.
Right. yeah.
Exactly. That's something I try to instill in my intern all the time. Is it's the first 1 to 3 years, you're just going to suffer. It's just going to be tough. It is what it is. People are not going to want to talk to you, and your job is to talk to people.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it is, and it's like, thank God, you know, like growing up, the first job I ever had was knocking on doors, selling windows and doors. Like, it was horrible. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
Every
knocking on
door you knock on, you already know they already got one.
well, it's replacement, right? I worked for, I don't want to mention the company, but it stunk, right? You're knocking on people's doors who don't want to talk to you, don't want what you're selling, and you're basically interrupting them, saying, hey, do you want to buy this thing that you don't want or need?
Yeah.
And it was tough, right? So, like, thank God you're not coming into a different, you know, that's why you start in a career, right? That's why we go to college. That's why we study what we study, and you know, you can change majors throughout that process, right? As you're trying to find your path.
You can change whenever you want. I think that's part of the whole thing with young professionals as well, where it's not always an age thing.
Yeah.
So we've seen so many people, especially after COVID, being between burnout and everything else. Hey, I want to switch careers, and it's 40s, 50s, 60s. It's never too late to really be doing that. So
Exactly.
Of course.
I think you're right, and I think that's why we're going to see a few 50, 60-something-year-olds on this podcast. But it's,
wealth of knowledge.
I think you're right, but it's also that compounding effect, right? Have you guys read that book before?
Mhm.
I'm just starting to read it, but it's so like true, right? You heard that penny theory in the beginning of the book, where it was about what would you rather have, $3 million right up front, or have a penny a day compound for 31 days straight?
Mhm.
And it's that penny doesn't beat that $3 million until the last day, right? Day 30, it's only got $5 million or something, and then it turns into 10.
Mhm.
So it's like, you're right. It's like every day. It's that one, like, you're in that development stage, you're in that growth stage, and you can restart, but it's like, you got to really think about it, right? I think there's a lot of people today, especially, that are just like, the second the going gets tough, they're out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there's that workout program. They say you can do anything for a minute, right? That's pretty hard to do sometimes. But,
Yeah.
but I mean, really, no matter what you're doing, you're flipping burgers, but you have a plan. You're looking for a job. You're putting in applications. You should feel great, right? As long as you're slowly moving forward in the things you're doing or your mindset.
Yeah.
But so many people get stuck in where they are and can't see the future.
Yeah,
Like,
for
for
real.
us, it's like we're saving money, we're building our lives, and I see a lot of my friends just living it up,
Mhm.
going on vacations and throwing money like crazy. And it took me a long time to realize, oh, they don't have anything in their bank, and they don't have a career even. They're
Yeah.
just bouncing around, and sooner or later they're going to realize that they should have paid more attention to compounding.
Yeah, for real. They have, like, it's all about, like, making those mining, like, just path, like, picking a target, and then understanding there's variations in that path, but it's like just have something that you're aiming at, because aim at nothing, hit it with tremendous accuracy. That's something that my
I
one of my
do
top people
think
hits
we
on.
are seeing a little bit more though of even though it is the grind, making sure to enjoy yourself a little bit too. But as you're saying, it's some of the lifestyle things you can enjoy yourself and take some time away without going full extravagant and burning everything you got to your name.
Hiking's free.
Yeah, hiking and camping. There's some Bureau of Land Management's got tons of land by national parks, so it's free to stay there.
Amen, dude. That's
Yeah.
something that I have to do. Like when COVID hit, it was the first thing I did. It was like I got out and I went camping for a week. And it was great. Turned off the news and just relaxed, you know.
Life can't be all work. I think we're here about that. But the balance, you burn yourself out. You got nothing left for the next day. Kind of getting out and enjoying yourself, be it working out, going fishing, doing something other than work is one of the biggest things I found in my life. If it's all work, then it's just, if it never stops, there's none of that enjoyment of like, oh, I got some done. If it's the constant.
Your future is not guaranteed, and so you need to live a little now, and it's just finding that balance.
Yeah, I think that's true, but it's so, like, I think it's very hard for young professionals. I find it extremely hard for myself.
Yeah.
Because to celebrate the little victory seems almost silly sometimes, right? It's like, okay, I did barely anything towards my goal in general today.
Yeah.
And sure, maybe I tried super hard. I put in 15 hours, but just nobody answered the phone that day. Nobody, you know, I was off that day, whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, dealing with those, and then, you know, you're talking about work-life balance and all these things. It's kind of tough. It's kind of tricky. I think, you're right, there's that new age thought of like, oh, you know, do your yoga in the morning and then go to the office or whatever. But then it's that old school thought of grind until you're successful and then do whatever you want. But personally, I really don't know how to do it. Like, I'm struggling with work-life balance. I wake up 15 minutes, I'm on the computer, and I don't stop until 15 minutes before I go to bed. You know, it doesn't stop. Like, because I have a target, I have a goal, and I'm extremely motivated to hit that. And I don't want to. There's no guarantee for tomorrow's success or anything. You know.
Yeah, or your career, which is why it's hard to find that balance, because there is a time and a place to work those 12-hour days. Because, you know, I did that for years before I had kids.
Yeah.
And when my first kid was born, you know, I was working a couple hours a day for 3 months, right? While my kid was a baby, I got to stay home and be with my wife and kid because I put in all those hours.
Yeah.
But the real problem is so many people are doing that, they're killing themselves, and they don't have an end goal, right? It's not, I'm going to do this so that I can take it easy later. They realize, like, there's a lot of attorneys who realize they didn't want to be the type of attorney they are, because this 12-hour day never ends.
That's very true.
It's really hard to figure that out.
Dimitri, have you seen, is there any difference in culture between Russia and the U.S.? I think the U.S. is always seen as something where you grind, where, I don't know how about in Russia, but I know in Europe it's seen a little bit more as making sure to take time for yourself is something that's stressed a little bit more. But
Okay, so just let me start from my experience. I entered from school when I was 18 and start studying at the university.
What university?
Immanuel Kant Baltic Federal University.
Where is that?
Okay, so
So I'm just asking, I want to get to know you, man.
just some kind of geography. So I'm from Kaliningrad. Previously, it was a city of Germany.
Okay.
When after the Second World War, the Soviet Union. So this part will be our part of our
I'll have the
country.
map.
So my city is located between the Poland and Lithuania. So it's separate part of Russia.
Okay.
So now we have a big problem with logistics because products and everything it's delivered by the sea with the help of the sea, but with the help of the Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia, we have some problems. We have some sanctions from this. That's why our products are overpriced, and it is impossible to buy it when you earn the same money, but it is overpriced in time. So, and just it is impossible how to survive. So and regular people who are working every day from early morning to the late night, 12 hours a day and day to day, they in those situations they didn't even afford something for them, so they didn't even can buy some extra maybe iPhone for us it's a luxury segment, you know. So for this just find a regular job like a manager and you can afford for you just an iPhone from with the help of the financial. So in our country, it is now it is really difficult to live because of the situation, because of the sanctions, because our currency depends on the dollar. Every price depends on the dollar in Russia. So not about it. Located between Poland and Lithuania, you know.
Hey, we got history lessons.
Yeah.
We got everything out.
So just for me. Immanuel Kant, it is a philosopher. It
Who?
is
Immanuel Kant.
Immanuel Kant. Yeah, Immanuel Kant. It is a philosopher, and he didn't establish this university, but it is honor of him, just something like this. So I'm started studying when I was 18 for the bachelor, and in info communication technologies and information system. It is my direction. I'm an engineer. So in 2023 I'm also an engineer, but I don't really know about the United States education. When you can be bachelor, in what age?
And usually
Is there an age?
it's 20. It's a time frame for
Okay.
a lot of the university. It's usually seen as 4 years. But you do have students who are cramming in credits.
Yeah, it's an X amount of credits, right?
I think it's
Okay.
100 and some odd number.
120?
Somewhere around there. It's
I
something.
think I
I
did
know
120. Do you remember?
No.
I don't remember.
So the average.
I'm an old guy.
Yeah, it was
right?
120.
120?
It was
Yeah.
120. Yeah, the old part.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think
You
a
went to
full-time
pterodactyls to school,
full-time
right?
student load would be 12 credits
Mhm.
out here, but then you have people going from doing 18 plus. So
Okay.
yeah, some universities put together a program so you're finished in 3 years, but then you do I think it's Stanford has that where you finish in 3 years and you have a master's program in 2,
Mhm.
so you don't do it all in 5.
Yeah, there are a few of them like that.
Yeah, but
Okay.
so it varies.
Yeah.
But you sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So when I started studying, I was feel really free because after the school, when you so just homework. You arrive home, just eat some food and homework. Just go up really early to the school, just working, just go to home, eat food and just
LSU is a little lighter programming.
Yeah, it's a scary circle, and it's from day to day. So after the school, when you just pass the final exam and go to the university, you feel free because all work in a university, when you get it, you have to pass it after the week. So you just go to the class, you have some class, and this class will be in the next week. So you don't have to do it right now. You can do it on the next week, and I feel so relaxing after the school. But after the 2 weeks, maybe 3 or the couple of weeks, I was thinking that I'm relaxing too much time.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I remember that. that
Yeah.
period.
Something strange. So I was dreaming about it. So when I go home, just play my computer, play some other things, shows, just go to ride in a bicycle, go to the gym, just do all what I want for myself. So, but after the 3 weeks studying at the university, it was really strange, and I wanted to do something useful for myself, want to do something useful for somebody.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just started thinking about what I can do for me and what I can do for some other peoples. So, I just watched a motivation video, and
Who'd you watch? Tony Robbins?
Exactly. No, no. It was a motivator from Ukraine, exactly. From Ukraine, and he moved here just maybe 3 years ago. So he moved startly to the Moscow, and in Moscow it was really boring for him, and he moved just to Los Angeles. So now he's living right here. So I watched the video with him, and he just told the phrase, "Do what you can do. Do what." Do what you where you feel better, where you feel that you are professional.
Mm-hmm.
So, and as I'm engineer.
Yeah. Big brain, huh?
Yeah. I was preparing for math exams and for physics exams. So closer for me is mathematics. That's why I was thinking about it. Maybe I'm just start to be a math tutor.
Yeah.
Because I can help some people to do it and earn some money.
Yeah.
So I just posted my ads into some kind of marketplace, some kind of Facebook.
Yeah.
We have a social media for that. So and within maybe after the 2 weeks, I started getting the orders. So just I see that some call. Hello. My son needs help with mathematics. It works.
It does.
It works.
Speaking of which, do you want to plug yourself right now? How do people find you? How do people get your tutoring? Tell the world.
Maybe if some people from Russia will be see it, I can give my
We've
phone
got a huge
number.
following over there, man. Come on.
Yeah. So and after the months, after a couple of months, after the year, if only after the year, I became the most popular tutor in my region.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
He's not taking new students.
Yeah. Yeah. I became the most popular tutor of math in my region, and even in Moscow, I was on the 3rd place on this marketplace.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah.
That's cool. We're not swearing on this thing, but holy smokes.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
so cool, dude.
Yeah.
That's what my mom always said.
It's not so difficult to just find out in what sphere you are feel free, feel like a professional, feel like you can help somebody, and you will success.
Yeah.
So
That's what my mom always said. She said, "Don't do what you like what you love.
Yeah.
Do what you're good at, and you'll love it anyways."
He
You know, and she
doesn't
was
like being good at something.
Well, no, you're going to. You know what I mean? If you do what you're good at, right, with
Yeah.
that intention of like, I'm here to help people, right? That's like the whole. That's what I was trying to get at earlier with the like career path, right? Like, oh, you pick like, oh, this is where I'm going with this. This is what I want to do. And you keep it simple, right? That's why they make you do the mission statement and the vision and all that stuff at the beginning of your career, is because, right? I don't know if you had like what level of corporate training you guys had.
Yeah,
but-
most startups don't have that much corporate.
Yeah,
work.
no, I
It's,
know. We got me and
kind
this
of
guy
the
got
opposite.
corporate programs. You know what I mean?
beer in the fridge and sushi
No
coming at
insurance.
lunch. Gosh, it was insurtech startups.
The
so
most
that's,
right way is to find a job that will be your hobby.
Mhm.
It's a paid hobby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
a
hear
paid
that.
hobby. Yeah.
But there's also like I think there's pitfalls to that, right?
Mhm.
There's like that's the adage of like do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life type deal.
Yeah.
But it's also like there's certain career paths that are more advantageous than others, and there's certain places where certain people are given certain opportunities that I think they have to take them.
Not everyone can stream on Twitch. That's
That's
I think
That's
a
why we're
million
starting, bro.
12-year-olds
We're
would
trying
love
to
do that.
start something.
Yeah, but I think-
Change off.
I think a million.
You think I want to wear a suit the rest of my life? No, we're going Twitch popular, huh?
Yeah, that's
No,
sign me up.
totally kidding. I'm totally
Yeah.
kidding. But it's I think there's just like if you're given certain opportunities in life, right? Like I don't mean to say this in a weird way, but I feel like I have had a lot more privilege than you. You know what I mean? Like I went to private school my entire life. Like I've been given every opportunity. I went to LSU where like Louisiana's not doing great, guys. You know what I mean? I don't know if you've noticed, but it's 49th in the country or 50th, depending on the year. It flip-flops with Mississippi as far as public education goes. Like they're suffering. You know what I mean? And no fault to them. There's like them, but it's a matter of like they need help. They need an opportunity to get education. And that's like part of the reason why I do what I do is because it's like we're in finance, right? That's all we're doing. We're just trying to help people with their money make money. That's it, right? Period. That's like, and if that has to get cut out for reasons, don't worry about it. Cut back in. But it's
Well, you had an opportunity to learn these things, so it
yeah,
gives you a
exactly. I
chance
have
to
to give back.
gives more
right?
financial literacy to
Yeah.
someone that may have no idea even what a 401k is.
Exactly, and you just have to you have to take what you were given and use it, right? Like there's no reason of having like certain opportunities and not taking advantage of them, and I think that's something that you have to like do in your first few years of your career, especially is like make sure to take every opportunity and capitalize upon it
I mean,
the most.
I definitely did that. I went from wasn't sure what I wanted to do, going from insurtech startup. I was doing leasing and financing of commercial equipment at one point,
Whoa.
and realized that had the family insurance agent was growing, and it was getting to a point where it was like, all right, you have an opportunity to come in, step in, kind of switch away from something you may not be enjoying as much, and help out. Otherwise, it's growing too big. Maybe you have to sell off, and so I had that opportunity, and the stability aspect of it too.
Yeah.
It's not as glamorous as tech sales and working at a startup company with lunches catered in and happy hours, but
Hey,
stability
talk
and
to
something.
Jane. See what you
Yeah,
can do.
yeah, no,
Jeez,
we'll see.
Come on.
Company happy hours will be on we're getting those going. But the stability aspect.
But I just knew I could not fail because like giving up, what is that? Like a lot of people don't have a family business to fall back on, or you know some people can't go home, and so you have to keep going.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what's harder, having discipline because you know what's behind you, or having discipline even if there is nothing, you know, that you're running from.
I think that's something that you hit the nail on the head right there because it's something that I've thought about my entire life. Right? I don't think I had a little bit of both to a certain extent. Dad, very, very explicit, saying, "Hey, I'm gonna kill myself at work so that you can have every opportunity in the world." Right? There was no, hey, there is no turning back type deal. Right? You have to keep marching forward. But it's like you go to private school and you see kids that can fall back. And I think, to a certain extent, sometimes that discipline does get harder.
Yeah.
But then there's both edges, right? You get to the other side of things, and they don't have the examples. They don't know, you know what I mean? And so what is harder? I don't think there is one that's harder than the other. I think it's just both are hard, and that's why we have such a diverse panel here on this Young Professionals podcast.
I do think there's something about that nothing to fall back on. I didn't
That's
have
more
as much.
motivating than anything.
But when I was out in Austin, Texas by myself at a tech startup working 12-hour days, just being like, I came all this way.
Yeah.
I can't just be done with this. Did I like what I was doing? No. Did I have the healthiest habit at the time? Also no, but I was doing well. And so it was one of those where it was just like, I remember every day driving on the freeway being like, man, there's this big old banner for the police academy. I'm like, man, I don't have to make cold calls if I do that. I can just, and I remember just staring at it, late nights thinking about that. But
For
it was
me,
just
it's
like,
military. If this doesn't work, I'm going military because I will not go home.
Yeah, I mean, it was a motivator to make those calls, though. I mean, I sure did not want to be cold calling someone hanging up on me.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I really want to tell everyone I know that I'm like, yeah, I got my college degree, but I quit my first job or got fired from my first job, and now I'm nothing wrong with that, but it's not why I went to school.
Right.
And so that would be definitely something that was like, all right, keep going every day. It's like, ooh, don't feel great this morning. Man, I'm going into work anyways because that's not the option.
Yeah, I think something that helps with that is it's okay to be running from something for a while. Like you said, what did you say about the bullseye?
If you aim at nothing, you hit it with tremendous accuracy.
Right. So it's kind of like no matter what you're doing, if you just run away from something with discipline, you're going to build skills, but at some point you have to start running towards something.
Yeah.
And I think that mental shift is what gets you away from killing yourself for no reason to, okay, here's the steps I'm going to take, or I'm going to work these crazy hours for this amount of time until this happens. And then I can do this, then I can have a family, or whatever it is. And some people, they do, like, I mean, Steve Jobs, he just wanted to work. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't know him personally, but I think he
come
just
on,
wanted to work.
Yeah.
That was your dad. No,
But then, like, all the motivational speakers point to those people and say that's what success is. It's like that's like less than 1% of people want that as their life.
yeah, the Elon Musk is a very rare bird, right? Like,
Right.
you're not gonna. No one really. Not a lot of people enjoy that lifestyle.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what's success look like to you? To me, it's being home when my kids get home. In fact, it's picking them up from school so that I can be home when they're home.
You can tell you're 30 something.
Yeah.
My goal is being on the back of a 65-foot boat in the middle of the week fishing. Holy smokes. My boss said that in front of everybody in the morning meeting today. Like 100-something people, dude.
But I can see Ian's side of things though for sure, because I mean that's my family. They were the owners of the agency, so they were able to do that. Pulled way back on work and were there for the family and things like that.
Yeah.
And it goes back into Ian's point of nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah.
So we had no idea at the time that my dad was not going to be healthy, and so I had those opportunities. So it is when it comes to a family, splitting up that work can be a big thing because you don't know how much you have until you don't get the opportunity to see it through. So.
Yeah, you don't get it back.
No. So that is, but it is that balancing act of finding out what you need to do to make you more successful. I think that's the biggest part about increasing your career. You can really fine tune the things, finding out, okay, it's not just like that goal, it's the steps to get to that goal.
Yep.
It's like if you just see a 10-foot high wall and you're like, I just have to get to the top of that and you're scrambling at it, it's going to be a lot harder than if you're like, all right, well, if I put this here, then I step on that and I take your steps up. Like, oh, wow, that was a lot easier than just dragging my chest up that and getting all scratched up. And
It's insane, and I think that's where the older generation gets a little lost, is they see a wall and they're just like, I'm gonna run against it as hard as I can, as many times as it takes. You know what I mean? I'm not stopping. And it's like, that's great, right? That's worked. It's clearly worked, right? The country's, working, right, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But then it's like, you know what I mean? There's AI. you know what I mean?
have so
There's
many tools.
things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like now we don't have to run against a wall there's roadmaps now, you know what I mean, for pretty much everything.
Don't have ChatGPT write your whole marketing email, but have it write the foundation and make it give a little human touch on it and save yourself 30 minutes.
See, I think the exact opposite. You write the chunks and then it says the rest. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. I haven't played around with it enough.
You can. I don't. Want to get myself in trouble too much here, but you can really. It's a powerful tool. You know?
Of course.
It really
not
is.
using it would be silly.
Yeah, for real. It's gonna write the.
Also, I have to add that you have to see what you are working for. So
Yes.
if you put the goal, for example, I will buy a Rolls Royce, So and you just working 24 hours and 7 days a week. So you're working, but you don't see what you are working for. So just let yourself to maybe buy some presents, maybe once a month, maybe once a week.
Once a financially responsible opportunity comes around, okay.
Yeah. Just because I was feeling this maybe a couple of weeks ago, because when I moved from Russia, I had my own business. I had my own project. I created a online project for preparing for exams. It's also for mathematics. And after I launched my mathematics project, we with my friends started business with neon signs. So I had business 1, I had business 2, and I had enough time to spend money, to relax, just to do something for myself, just to feel that I'm.
You worked hard enough so that you got the reward, right? That's what it was.
Yeah. And I reached it. I just reached it. I just created a business. They are working for me. People working for me, and it is great. But when I moved here, I sold my business. I lost my clients from Russia because it's too difficult to work with my students.
The time difference, right?
Yeah, because of the time. The difference with my city is 9 hours. So when my early morning, it's late night and opposite side. So to live here the same way I live in Russia, I have to work really hard. I have to get up really early and at 8 o'clock and go to bed maybe at 12 a.m. So, and just from day to day, just circle of...
Circle of compounding effect. Have you
Yeah.
talked to Cheyenne in the ICANN Academy?
Yeah.
You have? Are you
Yeah.
looking into that opportunity?
Yeah.
That's a huge thing, because
Yeah.
and it's also like just there's so many schools and stuff. There's a lot of opportunity here as far as like
Yeah, and it is for me. It was too difficult. I just stopped and what I'm working for,
Yeah.
just to live or just to survive, just to buy food, to pay for rent, pay for car leasing, just pay for what, and I don't have money for myself, just for
You're
how I
surviving.
should say it.
you're surviving.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, just for essentials.
Yeah,
You know?
basic needs.
Just for essential,
Yeah.
basic needs. Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
no, that's
That's what's really hard is sometimes you're working towards something but you can't see it, right? You're in
Yeah.
deep water
Yeah.
and you're maybe putting out resumes, but that's not in your control what happens next. And a lot of times, right, inching towards daylight, you just do it long enough, it will work. But a lot of times it doesn't. And people never succeed, even though you're doing everything right
That's so
because
true.
of your circumstances, right? Maybe
Yeah.
you don't have the family to fall back on.
Have you read
or
the unspoken
could be just
rules?
Yeah,
Maybe it's the unspoken rules, right? Maybe you are that worker bee grinder that's gonna never get promoted, you just get looked over.
could be in the wrong area for what you're selling. There's just
Exactly.
some factors that go into it. It's just like
How do people find that big picture? How do people like when they're in too deep, there is no light at that end of the tunnel
right.
basically.
Well, a lot of times they don't.
What do you suggest? Like, how do we because that's something that a lot of young professionals are gonna find themselves in, right? They're coming right out
Yeah.
of college, they're lost, they're scared.
Well, do what
What
Bryn
do we
did.
do?
He left. Not that you were in like a dark place or
Mhm.
anything, but people need to leave a situation.
I
If
think
you're
very
you're where you've always lived, you're with the people you've always been with, and it's not working, it's very scary to not be around those people anymore. But you're already at
It's
the
less
bottom.
scary to be outside, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like the devil you know, but you're already at the bottom with no prospects. So go anywhere else.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Very true.
Right? And
very
if it
true.
doesn't work, you're no worse off, right?
Yeah.
It's a bad situation both ways. But a lot of times what you realize is it's the people around you, right? The saying,
The five
if
people
you
you're
want-
around or whatever.
if you want to know what your future looks like, look at your friends,
Yeah.
right? So hopefully this podcast, we can be the opposite. We can be the friends that push people up when
Yeah,
you
that's what
don't
this
have
is
those
all
people.
about, right? We're gonna
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
to be the.
Of course.
But
We need one more person.
Yeah.
Nick, get in here.
But I think there comes the self-awareness thing too. When you're in so deep, I think a lot of people aren't taking any time away from work, and if you're
Yeah.
in there in the mines the whole time, you can never see that how you are. It takes getting away,
Take
And
going on that
some-
hike, huh?
go on the hike,
Yeah.
go for a walk. I think not enough people exercise can do
Yeah.
is a heck of a thing. You can just
Oh,
find out
amazing.
it's just like it's sometimes the work isn't what's making you unhappy. It's the way you're living your life.
I think
And
that's
so-
stress.
The stress, and there's no way to get it out. You're just sitting around. You're in a dark room, and it's like you could have the best job ever, but if you're not getting the things you need to live, you're still not gonna be happy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, as
think that's what you're
Danny
getting at,
said,
too.
yeah, you've had days where you're calling all hours, nothing's working.
Yeah.
I had a lot of those days. I said I thought I was going to get fired every month.
Yeah. Everybody.
But
does.
what I do, it's dark when I'm coming home. It's like, oh, the day's over. But no, it's like 7 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat some lunch, wait a couple hours, then I'm going to go work out, whether it's at the gym or running, because that exercise, there's studies that show it's twice as effective as antidepressants, but it works right away and there's no side effects except you
You look
look
great.
better, feel better,
You
need
saw
less
that
coffee.
study?
Like,
I think that we might be able to get in trouble if we start quoting studies that we don't give the exact quote to.
well, I'm not a doctor. Everybody knows that.
You're right, I'm not a
That's
doctor
an
either, but
opinion.
We just need our own Jamie to pull that up.
Yeah, come on, Jamie. What the heck, Nick? No, but did you see that study about they brought a bunch of clinically depressed people in and they made them work out for an hour a day. And within 5 days, not a single person was clinically depressed anymore.
I had not seen that.
It was just
Sorry,
ridiculous.
just say when you say make them work out, I just imagine them with like shock
Oh,
collars on, just
maybe-
like get on the treadmill.
mouse
I think
wheels.
they made them
Yeah.
work out, and no, they also made them smile, like forced
That
to
is-
smile.
I've
while
heard
they
I
that
have
did it.
one.
heard that one.
Yeah, they were forced to
Mhm.
smile and forced to like walk
Yeah.
or something on a treadmill for an hour every day.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Within
I
5
saw the
days.
opposite too, where they were forced to be kind of like rude in interactions, and it made them feel worse overall.
Of course,
Yeah.
no one likes being rude. It's like a knee-jerk reaction.
And yet, so many of us were tired and depressed, and we go and order a coffee or go to the grocery store,
Yeah.
and we're just grumpy.
just vile to people. Yeah.
I know I have a resting mean face, so I have to work it like I'm actually happy on the inside.
What do you
Yeah.
think
But
I hang
I
around
need
you, dude? I'm trying to
you
jolly
to
you up.
see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shows up at the Grinch for a Christmas party. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
I do remember
Right.
that.
Right, you wouldn't expect the introvert. People think I'm shy because I don't like to talk that much. But I am not shy at all. Be the Grinch, be the Santa Claus before that.
Mhm.
Christmas party every year. Chamber Party hosts it.
It's a blast. Come on
Yeah.
down.
Special costume this year.
Don't tell us. We have
I'm not going to
do
tell
it.
you,
Good,
but
good.
the only hint I'll give is one of you should dress up as Santa.
So
I
you're-
thought about last year because
so
you
we
told
got
me
that.
before that you're going to show up.
Oh,
as
if
the
you're gonna
Grinch.
be Mrs. Claus, I'm gonna be Santa
And
for
it's not
sure.
Mrs. Claus, but that's a great idea. Actually.
yeah.
It's so funny. So funny. But it's I think you guys are like it's. We were talking on something there where it's like you're trying to. I think you have to hit that rock bottom. I think you need to hit that place where you're like just barely getting by for your expenses, and then you feel like you are drowning.
Yep.
To be like, hey, I need to pull my head out of my butt, kind of deal. You know what I mean? I have to like, holy smokes, what's going on here? So it's like, what do we like? You have to run in the dark for a while, right?
Oh,
There is
yeah.
just that's a part of life. Everyone has to go through it. So what type of like things can we like try to what's one thing in each one of our lives that we think people should that we implement personally that has made that impact that it's like it's just one of those things that you do all the time
Mm-hmm.
and it has led to you being where you're at today type deal. Like it's one of those healthy habits. What's one
Mhm.
healthy habit that you have that's helped you thus far in life? I think personally for me it's waking up early. Like, I'm an early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy,
Ooh.
wealthy, and wise. I know it's so weird for a kid 23 years old to be like, oh, like go to bed early. But my
Yeah.
friends give me crap because I go to bed at 8:30. You know what I mean? Like, if I can,
Oh,
I'm
it's past his bedtime.
at 8:30,
Oh,
dude,
I
for
wish.
sure. Yeah, we're way past bedtime for Danny boy, but it's like I'm gonna be up late tonight because I have things to do. Right, I'm gonna figure out a few pieces in my social media manager. I want to try to learn how to run some campaigns through there so that there's automatic messaging happening on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It is using those tools to like compound, you know what I mean, your time, and not just running against the wall every day. You know what I mean? Using the
Right. Yeah,
The
just
steps.
making it up as you go, and you have to make it up again the next day and the next day and the next day.
what do you mean? What are you talking about? Making it up?
Well, if like you said, you're going to plan ahead right now so that you have a standard operating procedure in the future. You just save
Exactly,
yourself a
yeah.
lot of time.
Yeah. You're building those steps, right? You're making the penny a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're allowing for that compounding effect to happen, and you're just being a young professional, trying and struggling and being underwater. You know what I mean? That's where it's at. You're just trying to hold on, and it's in our industry, right? The first 3 to 5 years kind of is like a lot of it's survival, right? You make it to that 3-5 year mark, and then it's just things start exponentially happening for you because you've survived. Right, a lot of people in the beginning.
Survival's the biggest part about it.
Yeah, a lot of people in
Yeah.
the beginning of the industry will be like, "Oh, we're just waiting for him to fail," kind of deal. Like, not
Yeah.
right now. We'll do it in
Yeah.
a year or two. We'll see if he sticks
There are
around.
a lot of
Mhm.
business models out there that specifically prey on the just hiring a bunch of people. You're going to bring in a few clients, then get fired, right?
Yeah.
But the clients stay.
But they're
So they don't
our
care.
clients.
Right, they don't care that you're gone.
Yeah.
They get to keep the clients.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. Here's a piece of advice. This is 100% why I got my job. Right. And it's something you can do in college or high school or any age, and it's gonna work. Not guaranteed. Volunteer. Right. And here's a balance. You find something you are passionate about, but also a place that needs you. Because what you want to do, first of all, you need to get around people where you're not trying to do your work, because you need to see people in a different setting to re-energize you. But you get on the board and do the thing that you're good at that they need. Everyone at every nonprofit, they need help.
Yeah.
But they don't have the specialists they need. So I was on the boards of the American Cancer Society in my college town, Habitat for Humanity, and that's all my recruiter could talk about for
Look at
Edward
this little
Jones.
philanthropist.
It's all
Huh? We're starting a philanthropist young professional group, by the way. He's going to be
That's
our
part of
chair.
it,
He's going to
yeah.
be great. There's going to be a lot of programs. We're going to get to that at the end right before we cut out, but we got to make sure to definitely promote our programs.
Right, but here's the trick. You see all these entry-level jobs, right, that require experience. Well, how do I get that? Oh, I'm on the board of this. I helped organize the Relay for Life that had 500 people raise this amount of money 3 years in a row. That's the experience for the entry-level job.
Also, your
You're
major
already
counts as
doing
experience. Make sure to put that down. Like
Yeah.
it's serious. That's what the college recruiters will tell you if you go talk to or a college counselor. But we're coming down to the wire here. I want to make sure that we promote. We just got the buzzer from our producer. We are looking for producers. We're looking for editors. We're looking for recording people. We're looking for guests. If you want to come down and be a part of the podcast, come on down. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Click this
Oh,
corner, that corner.
no.
Huh?
We'll get some social media soon. Right?
Yeah, of course. We do have a couple social medias that you could be on the lookout for. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. Mission Viejo Chamber. One of the best ways to look out for specifically young professional events is going to be through our meetup.com. If you just go on meetup.com and look up Mission Viejo Chamber, I think that's going to be
Young Professionals.
Mission Viejo Young Professionals, right? That's going to be where me and Ian and Bryn Moore and Dimitri are going to be posting all the upcoming events. And we're going to try to make more events, right? We kind of just hinted at it, though. We're starting a philanthropy group, something that everybody here, I don't know, Dimitri, we're just starting to meet him, by the way. That's why we let him talk so much. I was kidding. But we are going to be starting a philanthropist group, and it's something that I find extremely important, right? Volunteering Spirit League, volunteering in high school. A lot of people maybe watching this are in high school in the local area, and everybody knows that you have to do for the private schools, you have 100 hours at Lumen Christi, or they call it something. It's volunteer hours.
You have some too. I think it's 16 for public high school. So
it's something that's required, and it's something it's a good thing that I think is in schools, and people just need to maintain it into their life, right? It's not about just it's a very selfish thing, volunteering, at least personally for me, right? It makes me feel so good.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's not.
Helping people feels good.
Yeah, it's the best thing, right? It's why we're in the industry that we're in, or why we do what we do. And we're going to be just coming together and doing different philanthropy events around the city and in the local area of Orange County. Another thing that we're doing right now is our internship program. We are currently accepting mentors to host interns, as well as if you're looking for an internship, make sure to reach out either on social media or you can contact any one of us directly. We'll have our phone numbers possibly in the description. If not, a link to the chamber where there's a directory where you can find all of us, Daniel, Dimitri, Ian, and Bryn Moore. Just search on the directory and you can find our phone numbers and our contact information that way. We do have an app. We're new, we're cool, we're hip like that. We have the Mission Viejo Chamber app, so go ahead and check out that. That's a great way to stay in tune too. The city app is great as well. A lot of city events inside of Mission Viejo. We'll touch on that next episode a little bit too. Another thing that we're doing, just events too. We got happy hours, we got mixers. Invite your friends, everybody.
More fun chamber mixer, or is those closed out for the year?
There'll be another round soon.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, there's tons of events coming up. Lots of great things.
The primary event is that every single Tuesday we have that morning networking group.
Yes,
that is. I think that's the reason why Mission Viejo has one of the best chambers out there.
Over 30 people on regularly every single time. We have 8 to 10 on Instagram Live, and you get 30 seconds to talk about your business every single time. Visitors get a high spotlight on them, and then coming up, and you get a full 10 minutes to talk about your business. I mean,
absolutely,
it's amazing.
Absolutely, it's the best. It's so much fun to do. It's great, just a good group of people. You know what I mean? Like one of the things I noticed the first time I went to the chamber was it was like a giant hug from a bunch of family members you hadn't met in a long time, or hadn't ever met. It was
find
so great.
I get the most done a lot of times on those because you're getting back into the office around 9:30, but it's just enough time so you're not getting in late. But be like, all right, I know I got what I have to work on, but I've already been talking with people in a talking work and business, but in a more pleasurable sense rather than just like here. So
yeah, almost every single networking event, I gain an opportunity to sit in front of somebody and share with them the scope of business and work that I do, and I get to hear about their business. Right, being the guest host. You will get meted at the door by me, and we'll make sure to get your business card and follow up and talk to you and highlight you. But outside of that, is there anything else that we want to make sure to promote and highlight? Check out if you need a math tutor, huh? Anything else we want to highlight?
No, come back next time. We'll have some great guests. And
absolutely. This is going to be dropping on the fourth Monday of every month. We're going to try to keep this consistent. Next week, we're going to have a guest, which is to be determined. It's going to be one of our two favorite people, and I'm not going to mention their names in case they're not here. Outside of that, I hope you all tune in next month, and welcome to the Mission Viejo Chamber. Subscribe, comment, like,
the links below in the description.
All that jazz. Cool. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.